Hello. Hi there. Um, I've been doing a little research into mesh networks, um, virtual reality, and augmented reality, and uh, the use of virtual reality and augmented reality in the process of your targeting and to manipulate public opinion. Uh, this goes into the deepfake premise and like the cloning of your pages, and individuals representing themselves as you or people you know. Um, uh, Due to extenuating circumstances that prevail among the targeted community, with the adverse nomenclature about, reasons and the verbiage used to describe what's happening to them with, uh, respect to um, manipulation of your surroundings and the organized nature of it, like a simulation, basically, a simulated reality. With the advent of the supercomputers and the ever-growing BCI technology, and which is brain-computer interface, and the AI, they're able to manipulate more and more people at once and spread this manipulation and this simulated reality that they're creating about you, or persona that you're being subjected to. So that's why I called this video subjective reality, as you're the subject of this artificial reality that they're presenting to people about you, the target. I was just watching a video on a couple videos actually on AI and neuropod and brain mapping, including the amount of functions the brain has, the different areas of the brain which are not, that are different parts, saying that it used to be that there was only thought to be 47, but now there's realization that it's over 180 due to a neuroscientist. But in a chat, I was having a conversation with other targets about, the aspects of how their perceived, notions are as to what's behind it, and there's a lot of speculations and theories. As I've said, I don't really subscribe to some of the ideology about snake people, reptilians, aliens, demons, witchcraft, and that sort of stuff. I'm pretty well blocked into the technology behind what they're doing. Now, granted, there are people that are snakes. Now, I'm not talking about, reptilians walking around in, a human suit, or like the Men in Black movie, the Edgar suit that the big cockroach runs around in. No, I mean people that have the mentality of a snake and that are, just downright bad people. That, that's my idea of a snake, like a draconian. Because if you, hello, if you look at the word, say, draconian, granted, there's the idea that there's draconians in space. Well, the draconian draconian ideology is that of through history. The draconian empire were people, and draconian meaning that they have a different view as to what the social norms are, which is you have a draconian outlook, meaning the classes of people.
Give me kisses.
But like I said, I don't really subscribe to the presenting that that they try to purvey to people as to how they're aligned with government agencies or whatever, or that they're invincible and you can't connect to them, you can't present them with a retaliatory function over the terrorism that they're producing in a worldwide fashion now. As I've said before, if it was a government, just solely a government experiment or whatever, they wouldn't have the inhibitions that the gang stalkers do as to be so secretive with it. They would just outright mitigate their power and influence over people with impunity, because that's what they do. But as far as a subjective reality, the perceptions that you have people voicing about that Freemasons or Illuminati, or, secret subcultures. Granted, this is a secretive subculture, but their ability to, exist in plain sight, like as in with, being able to advertise to hire people for stalking on Google, and companies that, uh, advertise that they'll take revenge on this person for you for X amount of dollars. And they'll ruin their life for you for, they have different different packages, like $3,000 will get a certain thing done, or $10,000 and we'll do this, and the increments go up as you try to go for, different outcomes. And they're out there. There's companies that will do that, and they operate. But that's what I mean by subjective reality, is that they are able to proceed with whatever clandestine objective that they have orchestrated out for several years now. The similarities between individuals who are targeted and the tactics involved in being targeted, as though for the street theater, the following, the identity manipulation, the impersonation, the manipulation to make targeted individuals feel like everyone's against them, their family, their friends. Basically that, turned into, you're a horrible person and now everybody hates you because, these people have been defaming you in a public manner. Regardless of what you might have done or hadn't done, whatever. Just that doesn't matter. When you're targeted, they don't care if you're a good person. They don't care what you've done. They only care what they can steal from you and how they can use you and turn people against you. As in my case, not doing anything to the people that are targeting me other than catching them at stealing intellectual property from me and presenting me in a bad light in the first place. And I caught them at that, and therefore, my targeting escalated. I mean, they were already targeting me. They were already doing things to me, but until I actually caught them and they knew I caught them and knew that, they were doing it, then it escalated. It escalated from a covert aspect to an overt aspect, where the remote neural monitoring and the B2K and the identity harassment and the threats came into play. So it's a subjective reality, because as they use the augmented reality and VR to present you to people in their their skits or their scenarios on whatever streaming platform that they are presenting to people as you, with actors, you know, pretending to be you with whatever apparatus they're using to present your face, and whatever voice modulation technology they're using to present your voice, or any recorded or predetermined data that they've gained to make a fake video, or using the dream manipulation to via remote neuromonitoring to present a fake dream as something that you've done, or a faked crime, a fake sexual act, things like that, things of that nature, something to do with porn, or ways they can present to their viewers on their mesh network, which is basically an invite-only process. You have to be invited to be able to view the things that they spew. Otherwise, everybody'd be seeing it everywhere. You wouldn't have to worry about trying to find what they're presenting, like I have, as one of the few cases that I've found that they've used me on other channels, albeit whether it's a previously recorded video I did from somewhere else, or a totally faked video that they made via VR or remote neuromonitoring. Or as in the other case that I have proof that they took one of my videos right off of my site, which I'm sure they're probably recording all of them at once anyway. Hi, John. That I have 27 views on my page, my channel, but on this channel that, here I can put a link to it in the bottom, that they posted somewhere else and got 2.6 million views on it, of a video that I made, and they copied it and posted it somewhere else. Here, I'm looking through Google right now to find it, and I'll put the link up. And you can see just exactly what I'm talking about how, whereas on my channel it has 27 views, and whatever page this is that they posted it on, it has 2.6 million 1,421 views. I just have to find it so I can paste it up. It shouldn't be too hard because it comes up here. Unless, of course, they removed it. I can go find it. Some on my find the link somewhere else if I have to. I have it saved already. I just it's just the like I said, with the subjective reality, they're trying to create a simulated version of you to present to people to mitigate your ability to function normally as a human being. Okay, I'm not able to find it right now, but there is a link somewhere back in my other videos about the V2K short. I posted it, but it has 2.6 million views on whatever whatever channel it is that they copied it to. But on my page it has 27 views. So basically, I think what I haven't been able to find the actual place or person, whichever one of the people I'm certain is doing it, that has been recording my stuff and posting it somewhere else. But I have found one of the videos. The video I'm talking about is called V2K Short, and it was created by me. But they posted it somewhere else. Yeah, mesh networks are radio transmission, but you can make the network as large or small as they want. But it's not regulated by any internet protocols or anyone like that. Hi, Tip. And they can do and say whatever they want to anybody that's that they give access to it, and and present whatever material they want, however dirty or disgusting, and not be not get, like, say here on YouTube, how you would be demonetized or whatever. Well, they're not going to incur any kind of adverse effect from anyone, because it's their own network, and they create their own mesh network and invite the people they want to watch by say, oh, well, here's the link, you can go look at it, you can connect to my network. So they can, in effect, subjectively present whatever they want there without any reprimand or any kind of but no, they aren't powerless. I don't know what you're talking about. They can run on a battery, or they can run off of a powered supply. But should the power go out, that internet isn't going to go out. You're not going to lose that network. And then they're not powerless. They can use any device that you can use on the internet. They can use your phone, your computer, your laptop, your tablets. Anything that connects to the internet, they can connect, and they can transfer data from their server and proliferate it to whoever wants to come and look at it. So it's not powerless. It's basically it's an internet that isn't governed by the internet. You need to look mesh networks up if you don't know what that is. It's not powerless at all. I'm doing okay. How are you doing tonight? I'm not going to forget what I've learned, because everything I've learned is what's protecting me, and not falling into the disinformation that's spewed around by people on here about, like, fungus and aliens and demons and witchcraft. That's all bullshit. I'm not going to buy into any of that. It's bullshit. It's technology, and there are people using it. Simple as that. Bad people doing terroristic things with technology. Cool. Nice to hear that. But the science is what the problem is. And I really want to post that link, so I'm going to have to look through my stuff and find it here. and post that link because I have it. I just have to post it. Whichever one that has the comment about it on that I can copy and paste the damn thing in. Oh, I know what I'll do. Here we go. I'll get it off my Twitter. I posted it on my Twitter. I know it's there. That will be easy enough. Right here. Right here. Is that right there. That right there is wherever this nghenhake.net Terry B2K short. That's me, the B2K short by me, and it has 2,601,421 views on this site right here. But I gave them no permission to post this, and it I tried to click the link, and it takes you to a site that has malicious content on there, so you don't really want to go there if you're worried about malicious content. But that right there where it says V2K short, that was me. That's on the video I created that they copied and posted at this website here, that http://nghenhake.net, and got 2.6 million views on it. Which right there, even though it says terms of service, DMCA copyright, that's copyright material of mine that they stole and presented somewhere else. So this right here is enough evidence to actually get somebody prosecuted. I understand about the nervous system and how the BCI, the brain-computer interface, connects to the nervous system and the visual cortex and the auditory nerves, and that's how they're able to see and hear everything that you're thinking or watching or saying. It's proven. It's not science fiction. I've presented the patents. I've researched the patents. Uh, I'm not confused about what's happening. And I'm not going to allow myself to be confused about it through disinformation means by, people talking about aliens and witchcraft and voodoo and all this other shit. I'm not going to listen to that crap. I mean, I'll listen to it, but it's not going to sway my opinion. Anyway, as the list of evidences I keep gathering, and the blatant harassment I get from physical people, either be it in here in my chat or in person or via B2K or remote neural monitoring while I'm with my eyes closed asleep. Which incidentally is where they perform a lot of their fakery and their fuckery, is while you're sleeping. But like I said, the subjective reality via augmented reality and virtual reality technology using the remote neural monitoring data that they acquire through illegal means and manipulating that, or outright even just inventing fake scenarios and presenting it to the public. Or, as I'm showing you right here on the screen, where they actually steal your creative outlet or intellectual property and present it to other people and get 2.6 million views on your work. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I concentrate on. Tangible things that you can nail them with. Hacking, assault, theft, not innuendos, not the intangible V2K. I mean, yes, I've recorded loads and loads of hours of the V2K, which is tangible, but you have to have something that you can put right into the law enforcement agency's hands that they can track and actually do something about. Speculation does not get you a court case. Yeah, I'll go to public chats that have nothing to do with gang stalking. Could be live sport game on YouTube, and someone with my government name will come in chat saying they can see me, have cameras. See, Tip, they don't have cameras in your house. They don't. You know that, right? They aren't surveying you by physical means. They're doing it all remotely. They can watch what you're watching, listen to what you're hearing. They have turned you into the surveillance equipment through remote neural monitoring attached to your visual cortex, your auditory nerves, and your nervous system. And they're able to see what you're thinking as you're thinking it. I know you do. I know you do. I know you're well aware of it. But the problem is there's disinformation out there that are trying to push the narrative that that they have cameras in your house and they got GPS on your car. They don't need any of that shit. These guys aren't CIA, they aren't FBI, they aren't sanctioned by the government. They're criminals, and they're not going to do any of that stuff that can lead back to them. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do that shit. They don't want any kind of trail if they can avoid it. And with remote neural monitoring and V2K, there's no tangible trail in those. Unless, of course, you go get an MRI and can prove that you have microwave damage or whatnot via medical records, and still you're going to have to prove that the genius next door, the moron down the street, has been pointing the, you know, microwaves at you. Now, if you have a physical implant, right, John? If you have a physical implant that's going to be in your hand, you can get it removed from your body. And if you don't go get it removed from your body, I don't know what you're thinking. If you think you have one and you're not getting it removed from your body, I don't know what you're thinking. Leaving it in there isn't helping you if you think there's an implant. And you can go get a body scan and they'll find those implants. To be honest, Tip, whether gang stalking is literally linked to a government agency, right? A black ops agency. They're never going to admit that. Okay, no matter what the case, they're never going to admit that. But now, I'm fairly certain that there are corrupt individuals and agencies that know exactly what the hell's going on here and will do anything they can to cover it up. But as far as like being sanctioned by, you know, the government or the CIA or the military, right? They do illegal stuff. Everybody knows they do, right? You know they do. But in the end, even when they get caught, nothing really gets done to them because they're government agencies. So if you really want to get, I mean, just this is my opinion, if you want to get anything done against gang stalkers, you have to go for the things that you can prove. Like I said, like hacking, identity theft, harassment, assault, things that they actually will prosecute, because they won't prosecute gang stalking because there's no litigation set up to prosecute gang stalking. And I'm not seeing any litigation being put forth in the near future. I don't see them posting a law saying, oh yeah, you know, well, not regular, no, not regular police harassment. Well, I agree with you there that it is done for profit, John. I will agree with that comment 100% right there. That we are being subjected to harassment, and it's for profit. It has nothing to do with what type of person you are personally. You know what I mean? You didn't have to do anything wrong, but how the selection process goes is pretty vague. But like I said, I don't really like to speculate. I like to have some evidence to back up what I'm saying before I say it, because if you speculate, like you said, you could be proven wrong. And if your ducks are in a row, so to speak, you don't really need to worry about that so much. but speculation leaves the door open for that. And I'm not, I'm trying to stick to the science. And that's why I don't talk a lot about the helicopters flying around my house, or the one headlights, or, you know, the street theater as much, or the people following you in the grocery store, which all of this I experience, but there's no, or, you know, there is a rhyme or reason, but not something that is readily attributable to a tangible proof. Like, yeah, helicopters are flying around your house. Yeah. So, the car coming down the street has a headlight out. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another headlight. Or 5 or 6 people walk by you and all have a target bag, or, you know, they're all pointing their phones in your direction. You know, these are things that can be attributable to just things that happen every day. And you can't really, you know, put that in a courtroom and say, see, judge, see, this dude's standing here looking at me. Oh, he's looking at me. You know, you can't do shit with that. You can't do shit with the helicopter flying around your house. You can't do shit with a headlight out. There's not, there's that stuff is useless to you as a target. It's useless as evidence. You can't prove intent. You can't, you know, you see what I mean? You can't prove intent there. They can say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, and it's over. Oh, I got a bad headlight, you know, sorry. What kind of evidence? What kind of evidence? I mean, everything I try to present here is actual tangible evidence, data, researched researched papers that are readily available on the internet, um, hacking that is tangible evidence, things that are tangible. What have you got like that that's tangible? Circumstantial evidence is not going to help you. Well, that's what I'm saying. That when you have people driving around with one headlight, so that's not evidence of anything. So someone has a headlight out. Okay, so there's 5 or 10 people that have a headlight out. There's no way for you to prove that they were doing it to affect you. There's no way. There's no way you can prove that. It's illogical to think that you can use that as evidence that someone has a headlight out. Or that people are all wearing red shirts today. Or, you know, more than one person's carrying a target bag. I'm just saying that's not evidence. That's not usable evidence in a courtroom. Why is what available? What are you talking about? Yeah, it is a desensitization tactic, Tip, but you understand what I'm saying about it's not a tangible evidence. Unless they physically drive up to you and say, "Hey, I got a headlight out and I'm targeting you." There's nothing you can do with that. There's nothing. The judge is going to look at it and go, "Yeah, there's a car with a headlight out. What do you want me to do? Reprimand this person for having a fucking headlight out, and they drove next to you? They can't do shit about that." And when you see these, okay, I'm just going to say this. You see these people that do the videos about people with their headlights out, right? And they drive up next to them and start screaming out their window like, "You're a perp, you're a gang stalker, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to report you." What are you going to report? You're going to report they got a fucking headlight out and you saw them? What are you going to report? You don't know who they are. You don't know what they're doing. They got a fucking headlight out. They got a headlight out. That's it. That's what I'm saying. That's just illogical to think that's evidence. That's not evidence of jack shit. I don't care if you got 500 of them. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by the intangible things that they do, like the directed conversations. Unless you physically have them recorded and them saying your name, and you don't even know that fucking person from nobody, and they're saying your name and stuff that's personal to you, unless you actually physically have that shit recorded, showing a video of it, right? And have it recorded, them saying your name and something specific to you, and you've never seen that person before, that's evidence. But if you hear it and you see them, but you don't have any kind of record of it, you might as well not even mention it. You might as well not mention it, because there's nothing there. In the eyes of the court, there is nothing there for you to provide them other than, "I saw it, Judge." So all that person has to say is, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about." That's why I say, if as a target, as a group of targets, the only way we are going to get any kind of litigation or laws put down is if we have tangible evidence that judge can look at and say, "Okay, here's some fuckery. Here's some fuckery with your computer. Here's some fuckery with your identity. Here's some fucking, oh, they assaulted you. That's some fuckery. That's some fuckery that you can get in a courtroom." But saying police helicopters are flying around your house, get video of it. That's their job. That's the fucking police helicopter's job. Granted, they're flying around your house a lot, but that's their fucking job. That's not evidence. I hate that, because we know they're doing it, but it's not fucking evidence. Do you understand what I mean? In a legal sense, that's not evidence. Unless you have some food that they poisoned and you can prove it, that they put Windex in your food or Visine in your water, or you know what I mean? Unless we have physical fucking evidence, 1,000 testimonies, right? 1,000 testimonies from people saying, well, they're doing this, and this. That's all circumstantial, and you can't prove it. You can have 1,000 people saying the same thing, but unless there's something that the judge can look at in front on a piece of paper, or a video, or a recording, or something of that nature, you're not gonna get jack shit out of him other than, "I can't help you." I'm just being logical here. It's a piece of shit thing that they're doing, It's horrible. It's terrorism. We all know it is. But they do it in such a way that you can't prove it. You feel what I'm saying here? I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm not trying to put down your videos that, you know, we see it happening. We know they're flying around your house. We know they're driving around with one headlight against us, and that they're saying shit under their breath, and that they're pointing their phones at us, and that they're calling, you know, places impersonating us. But until we can fucking actually put something in the judge's hand that he can look at objectively and just delegate a verdict on the evidence, there's not a lot we can do with that shit. I mean, granted, I understand we can all look at videos of helicopters flying around and hovering over our houses, and cops driving by blaring their sirens, or people driving by revving their cars, you know. But you have to establish intent. That's all I'm trying to say. And uh, 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 unless we can prove they tried to kill us by, you know, assault, poisoning, tried, you know, run you over with a car, you know, hacked your computer. You know what I mean? Do you understand? Until we can do that, all this speculation about helicopters, headlights, street theater, following, all that, until you can actually physically prove it, you got nothing. You can say they're microwaving the shit out of your nuts. You can say that they're microwaving your face, your butthole, whatever. Prove it. You can't prove it. That's the problem. That's why I'm after the science. I'm not after this speculation of fucking aliens and snake people and fucking MIB and all that shit. Voodoo, demons. That shit isn't going to win you a court case. I'm just being, I'm thinking critically here, and I'm being logical in a legal standpoint. You can be pissed off. You can hate that your fucking neighbors bang on the walls and that they say shit to you 24/7 over B2K. You know, we hate that. I hate it. It's terrorism. It's torture. I understand, but until we can fucking prove it, we got nothing. I didn't say you did any of those videos that I've mentioned about. But you said you had evidence. I want to hear it. The one headlights, etc. Makes us look crazy. I mean, you said you had some evidence, and I asked you what evidence. I presented the evidence I have here. I presented hacking. I've presented identity theft. I've presented impersonation. I presented intellectual property theft. I've done all that. And I've reported all this shit to the FBI and to other people. Okay? I mean, the evidence, tangible evidence. And still they do nothing. So I have to tell you, they're not going to do shit about flying helicopters around your house. They're not going to do shit about police driving by and run their fucking horns. They're not going to do shit. They're not going to do shit about that. If they won't do shit about the hacking, the death threats, the assault, I proved all this shit: assault, death threats, harassment, identity theft, intellectual property theft, impersonation. I've proved all of it. I've proved all of those. Okay, but they won't do anything for me. So what makes you think they'll do anything about perps with headlights out and wearing a Target shirt? I don't get it. And when people say stuff about witchcraft and all that fuckery like that, they're not helping themselves. I mean, we know they're doing it. I'm not denying, that you're being targeted. I'm being targeted. That we're all being targeted. But what I am denying is all that shit ain't gonna get you anywhere unless you can prove it. I'm the only one talking about what right now? Like the siren going by my house right now? Only for a second? No, but I'm just saying. Oh yeah, I don't doubt the BCIs. I don't doubt the brain computer interface, but what I'm telling you from my research, they don't need implants. It's advanced to the point they don't need to implant you with jack shit. They connect to you via your EMF and your EEG, EKG, which is beaming out of your body 24/7. And they detect it, and it's like a fingerprint, and no two are alike. They don't need an implant. Maybe they used to, but the technology is so advanced now they don't need that shit. See, that right there, what you just said, Tip, that is the gist of it. Because every time you mention anything, right, you can talk about the harassment and all the, the other stuff. But the second you mention targeted individual or anything like gang stalking, the person you're talking to will immediately go. They're done listening. They don't hear anything you say after that. Period. It's like they'll be like this, and it's an immediate transition the second you mention anything about gang stalking, perps, blah, blah, blah. They're no longer going to hear anything you have to say after that, to that point. Oh, well, I'm the only one talking about. Well, have you looked at anybody else's channels? Because I can point out a few of them where they talk about aliens, or they talk about demons or snake people, witchcraft. I'm saying I don't subscribe about that shit. I'm not talking about it. That's all I'm talking about. I'm saying that ain't part of this shit. That's their narrative to make people look nuts. Well, see, that's all I'm trying to do, Tip, is connect the dots via the technology, because that's what's happening here. It's they're using technology, which um, remote neural monitoring is a heavy part of it. The manipulation they can do to the human body, the human mind, the visual cortex. They can manipulate your dreams. They can change things that as you're thinking something. If you're saying, I want to go walk my dog, they'll change it to, I'm going to kill my dog, to whoever they're talking to. They'll change what you're saying to whoever they're talking to. Like if you say, I fucking hate your guts, they'll change it to, I'm going to fucking kill you or something, to whoever they're talking to. That's the shit that I'm talking about. And that's how they're manipulating people to say, you, Tip, are the asshole. Because they're manipulating what you're doing to their agenda, to their narrative. They're manipulating your persona to something unrelated to who you are. I don't know how else to put it. And the ideology behind it, with I'm going to go out on a limb here, religion, the chosen ones, the star seeds, that stuff. That's part of their narrative. They want you to feel like, oh, you're selected because of this, or because you're you're so special. And this, no, there's thousands of us. Okay, there's thousands of us targets, and they play all this same crap on every one of them. They tried to play the this is God speaking crap with me. They tried to play we're Men in Black, and then they changed their narrative to we're the FBI. Then they changed their narrative to they're fucking aliens. Then they changed the narrative. This just bizarre, stupid shit. Okay, that they're Illuminati, they're Freemasons, they're all of this shit. And what they do is they find that one thing in your belief system that they get you to look at and go, oh, maybe that is it. And then they proceed against you with that. If you're heavy into religion, they're going to bash you with religion like they're God. They're going to speak this voice to skull, or voice of God shit that they say. They're going to play that. They're going to play it to the hilt. They don't care how much they have to lie, how much they have to cheat, how much they have to steal, as long as they get the emotional response from you that they desire. And once they've got you, they've got you. Because then they're going to keep playing that narrative, and you're going to fucking believe it. That's what I do, is research RNM. That's what I do. I research this. I'm researching the science. I'm not researching the speculation about aliens and other shit and all the other crap and witchcraft and all this shit. None of that. So do you think that I'm just going to ask you, what is your assertion that is behind it, then, if it's not the technology and shitty people? Just curious, John. Because that's what I think's behind it. I'm not changing my mind. I've looked into all the other crap. They've tried to pull it all on me with the Men in Black and Jesus and all that shit. I'm not buying it. What do you mean ATIX glitch 18? Should I Google that? Hello, TL. I totally agree with you there, TL. The only way to do anything is to keep pushing pushing to get, to get it at least to be recognized, you know. um and like I say, the tangible evidence, like I remember you saying some stuff, TL, about you have some, I think, hacking evidence, wasn't it? Was that you? Was that you that said something about you had some kind of evidence of their hacking? Maybe it was someone else with a T name. I think it was you. Okay, I'm going to Google ATIX under the direction of this glitch character. ATX AG, Automated Trust Information Exchange. Is that what you're talking about? Glitch? Yeah, that's I remember. I remember you talking about the hacking and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's this says Automated Trust Information Exchange. It doesn't say the what you just said there, anti-terrorism information exchange, but I think Automated Trust Information Exchange is a computer database containing homeland security and terrorist threat information, which is part of the U.S. government's Regional Information Sharing System, or RISS program. Yeah, so it is basically what you're talking about, because it's talking about Homeland Security, Joint Regional Information Exchange System, Multi-State Anti-Terrorism Information Exchange, National Criminal Intelligence Sharing Plan, Regional Information Sharing System, Surveillance. So yeah, this is basically what you're talking about. Well, that's basically talking about the database that they compile on people, right? Yeah, and not unlike what the NSA does when they're compiling information about people and trying to discern who's a terrorist and who's not a terrorist, and that. Oh yeah, the predictive policing and predictive programming. That's AI oriented, and under Spectre, if you know what Spectre is. Let me Google Spectre and tell you about Spectre. Spectre is a 2015 spy film and the 24th in the James Bond series, right? Well, that's not the one. That's basically what it is. But where is it? Still looking, sorry. Spectre AI. No, that's not it. That's not it. I'm not finding the one I'm talking about. Well, anyway, Spectre was a program used by the NSA to basically infiltrate terrorist organizations, and they actually did use it to destroy, I think it was Iran's uranium production plant. Yes, they do. They do scan you in, John. They do, and that's how they do it. I know when it was done to me, and I know who did it to me. I know the exact instant it was done. Well, you can think it's bullocks all you want, but I know what I'm talking about. They scan your EEG, your EKG, and your brainwave patterns. And that's how they gain access to your nervous system, and they can pass it around like a candy bar to any fucking buddy they want. Prove it. Well, I'll tell you what, if you want proof, you can go back and look at my videos and the patent information, and you can find it yourself, but I'm not going to sit here and look for it again through my videos. Is it really? How do you know? Okay, I'm just going to have to show you right here. Let's see. I have to find the... Okay, here's the apparatus. Apparatus for and method of sensing brainwaves at a position remote from a subject whereby electromagnetic signals of different frequencies are simultaneously transmitted to the brain of the subject, in which the signals interfere with one another to yield a waveform which is modulated by the subject's brainwave. The interference waveform, which is representative of the brainwave activity, is retransmitted by the brain to a receiver where it is demodulated and amplified. You want this patent? Do you want to see the patent yourself? Here. Go read it yourself. You are scanned into the system remotely. Like I said, they don't need a fucking implant. And as I've said before, I research shit before I spout off about it. I want to be sure what I'm talking about before I present it as a fact. I want it to actually be a fucking fact. So go read that patent and then come back and tell me it's bullshit. This patent right here. This patent. And that's just one that what I typed in as the information was, where did I type it? What did I type? Scanning you into the remote neural monitoring system. And that is the patent information for the apparatus that I'm talking about. That's just one. That's just one from that one search. So yeah. No, that is a patent. That's a patent information. If you don't think it's proof, I do not know what the fuck to tell you. It doesn't mention anything about having a chip. Yes, scanned in. They scan your EMF, document your EMF, EEG, EKG, your brainwave pattern, which gives them a waveform, which is personal to you, like a fingerprint. No two are alike. That's why they can target you anywhere, anytime, no matter where the fuck you are, no matter how many people you're standing next to. Yeah, that's just what Ti just said right there. Without a chip. Yeah, of course, Neuralink's going to use a chip, but they don't need a chip. The technology is advanced past that shit. We're past that. Also, I don't know if you understand this, you might, but with the advent of AI and supercomputers like, the D-Wave and the new one that NVIDIA is going to come out with, they can monitor millions of people at once. Millions, if not everybody on the planet, without any chips. Well, mostly the chip research is so that they can help people that, the ones that are doing that research, like let's say Elon Musk with Neuralink and Neuropod, they're doing it to help people with, debilitating diseases like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's or, PTSD, which they would use a chip to regulate it and they wouldn't have to, and it would regulate. But this shit is just criminals. These aren't people that are trying to help us. If you're a target, they aren't doing this for the good of anybody but themselves. They sure as hell ain't doing any good for you. That I have no idea, Glitch, if Mandela Effect has anything to do with any of this. In my opinion, the Mandela Effect has to do with disinformation and, the whitewash of history or whatever. But I really couldn't tell you. I haven't researched it, and I'm really focused on gang stalking and researching gang stalking, so I'm not really going to go into that. Oh, no, it doesn't. If you want to know how V2K can work without any kind of chip, look up the TED Talks about audio spotlight, which was invented in 1974 by the person presenting it. And I'll just give you the link to that. Here's one link to audio spotlight. And this is reminiscent of V2K, right? It works the same way, but it doesn't act, affecting only the person who it is being aimed at. That's what I'm talking about, Scott. You know what? There's no implants, dude. I'm sorry. You want implants? I don't want no fucking implants. I don't have no implants, and I get V2K and RNM all day, every day, and I have no implants. So when you're telling me you have to have an implant, well, I'm not going to listen to that. You don't have to, because I researched it. I know they don't. I researched this shit. I'm not just talking out my ass here. I didn't say audio spotlight follows you around. I said it is similar to the apparatus used for V2K. Being that V2K is a radio wave or microwave frequency, it can be broadcast all over the place. And if you're the target, if you're the one being focused on, you're the only one that's going to hear what that particular frequency or broadcast is going to be saying. Granted, they can broadcast to millions of different people with a different frequency focused on that certain person. I see you're having a problem with being scanned in. Okay, look up your EEG, your EKG, and your brainwaves. They're no two alike. You understand that, right, John? You understand that your brainwave pattern is solely proportional to you. There's no two alike. It's like your IP address. It's like your fingerprint. No two alike. And that's how they can pick you out of a crowd of 1 million people. Dude, I'm not having an ego here, okay? You're misconstruing the obvious here, because I'm not being egotistical about it. I'm presenting you with evidence, and you're telling me I'm not, and that pisses me off. I'm giving you evidence. If you don't believe it, I understand that. That's fine. You can not believe it. You're telling me be logical and think outside the box. In that respect, I think right there you need to think outside the box, because you're holding yourself to to the fact that, oh, this can't be possible. I'm telling you it is. That's your EKG glitch. That's your EKG. They don't need chips. They can also find you by your heart signature from satellite. Let's move on. That's right. They use your EEG, your EKG, and your EMF, your personal EMF. Every human has their own electromagnetic frequency, and you're exuding it all the time, just like your table does, just like a rock. Everything has its own thermal radiation. What do you I've presented you with stuff I and every other TI looked at years before you did. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Then why are you having such a hard time listening to it? Um, Apparently you had no idea about being scanned in, because you were going, what, that's bollocks. I show you the patent information. I give you instances. What's bullocks? The big question is why. Um, I can give you a simple answer that pretty much is, encompasses all of it. Profit. To profit from your data, to profit from your something called Frankenstein fraud, where they synthetically create a person using partial or some of your information with another person, and taking out bank accounts and robbing banks of billions of dollars a year. Profit. Intellectual properties. Profit. Good point. Good word for it. Surveillance capitalism. Yeah, in a sense. Yeah, we are lab rats. They are. We're, like I said, it's a subjective reality. I mean, like now let's go back to John here, for instance. Okay, it's your subjective reality, right? That you understand it the way you understand it, right? That's a subjective reality. You have came to an assertion about what it is, and you're sticking to it. And that there is another problem with the gang stalking scenario is there are so many different views on it. And I really, when I look at other people's, other targeted individuals' channels, they're not focusing so much on the technology as they are about, oh, I've got, people following me, or uh, they post videos about, the mobbing. I mean, you have the different aspects that are all part of the sick animal that is gang stalking. I'm just focusing on the science and the tactics. I mean, I would love to look at some of anybody in here. If you have some proof, you can email me. Right here. With anything that you consider as evidence. Anything you consider as evidence, I'll review it. I'll look at it, and I might even spotlight it on my channel. But hopefully, it has something to do with technology or the tactics of gang stalking. But if it's stuff about, you know, you got a bunch of headlights or that, I probably won't show it. Or videos of helicopters. But if you have, like, you know, personal video of yourself interacting with police officers or assailants, you know, directed conversations, if you have audio evidence such as like I've recorded, stuff like that, it things that have a tangible nature, I'll compile that shit. Yeah, that's a good point. Sad thing is, there will be no justice for us in this world. It is corrupt to the core, isn't it? Um, um, I heard something from someone. I can't remember exactly the person, but if you're looking for someone to come and save you from this, it's not going to happen. The only person that can save you is you. Because Superman isn't going to come dropping out of the sky. Batman isn't going to show up in the middle of the night. Going on 4 years. Since sometime in 2019. And I've had neuromonitoring almost the equal amount of time. The dream manipulation, all that. How about you? But I am aware now that I have been targeted since like 2001. Well, Tip, I noticed something was wrong before the V2K and the remote neuromonitoring. But as to what it was, I wasn't absolutely certain. I mean, I just knew that some fuckery was happening. Around 10 years. Directed conversations are a trip. Yeah, they are. I used to think some people were in on it, but then realized that some were being influenced. Now, as far as the directed conversation goes, yeah, if you do look into that link I showed you about audio spotlight, the ability for them to make it appear like someone is saying something by what they call refractive or reflective process, that it'll appear like that person is saying something when actually that person had said nothing about it. They said, "Oh, what about the weather?" And they said, made them say something totally different. And uh, um, I have a hard time replying to that comment, Glitch, because I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. Sorry. Yeah, I, I am totally aware of that too. That they have that ability there, TL. Yeah, that's something else I have a problem with. How the gang stalkers will uh incorporate the narrative that your family and your friends and all that are all behind it, right? The narrative that they want you to blame your family and your loved ones for what these sick fucks are doing. That's obvious. Yeah, I had epidural injections. Yeah. Had two of them on my back. They wouldn't give me the third one because they weren't presenting the desired effect. Well, I think maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Something like that. I totally agree. The last thing you should do is isolate yourself further by cutting off family. What? Huh? Um, um, with a bit of reluctance, though, it's hard to talk about the subject with your loved ones. I mean, I'm sure everybody in here will agree with that, because that's pretty much a general consensus that I've noticed through every target. But yeah. I guess I could have posted my link, and somebody could have come up and talked with me if they wanted to. Would anybody like to come up and share some experience, or maybe anything of that nature? Yeah, here, just in case somebody wants to come up here for a little bit, in case anybody wants to come up here and join me and do a little panel thing. It's up to you. Other than that, I pretty much expended the extent of what I wanted to talk about for this evening. About about the subjective reality. I mean, I didn't really get a chance to hit on the augmented reality or the virtual reality, but the use of it to impersonate the target and present their narrative, whatever medium they're, that, or whatever social media platform they're using to broadcast the hate speech about you, or the the false persona, or the deep fake, they call it. I am of the opinion that they are doing that to each and every one of us. If you're experiencing V2K, you've heard it. You've heard the role reversal with you and the subject, and or the impersonation of people you love or being presented as being part of it. And their little skits about how they feel about you or whatever. But this is the actors that are portraying people, such as your wife, your mother, your sister, your brother, your friends. But in reality, it's none of those. They're people acting as them and doing a big deep fake. And it's all basically to try and frame you or set you up, make you look like, you're the bad guy. Always. That's all it ever is. At least in my experience. That's why I would like to hear from other people about their experience on the matter. But I can only give you my experience. I can't speak for someone else. But Rose. As far as that goes, like I said, I do a lot of research. Now I'm researching the AR VR aspect of it right now, and the AI implications, and such as metaverse that has to do with Facebook, and whatever other simulated realities that they're trying to implement for the future, as far as like with neuropod and neurological interfaces and BCIs. I'm gonna keep digging into that for a while. And when I, like Glitch said, connect the dots, or was it Tip? Maybe it was Tip. One of you said something about connecting the dots. That's all I'm trying to do, is connect the dots with research and some facts to back it up. Oh, what jobs and what medical device? I'm just curious. Would you like to come up and talk about it? If even for a minute. Be easier to talk about it than it is to type about it. Much easier than typing and trying to put your information into a 200-word spiel. Well, that sounds almost like, you know, part of the BCI apparatuses, or neuromodulation devices. I'll look into that. Glitch is welcome. Glitch to the stream. Hi, Glitch. Beating your cat.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm
Can you hear
doing
me?
great. How are you? Yeah, I hear you fine.
Good. I can't figure out how to flip the camera on this thing. I'm using the Brave browser, but I'm in my garage, so normally there's
That's
a
okay.
let me see here.
That's perfectly all right. If you want to just look at the cat food, that's fine. Can't hear you now though.
Legs.
Now I hear you again for a second. There you are.
There we go.
How you doing? Oh, it's cold there, isn't it? It looks cold there. You look cold. You're wearing a coat and a hat.
No, I'm up north, so
Yeah, it's pretty cold probably.
yeah. You know, this whole thing, it can just be kind of depressing.
Yeah, that's a fact. Oops, he dropped again.
I'm getting a lot of feedback, or a lot of echoing rather.
Yeah, if you're getting echo, just mute YouTube, and then just use StreamYard.
Okay.
Yeah, just mute your YouTube. That's why you're getting feedback.
Let me do that. All right. Much better.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that does it, because you're getting the feedback
Alrighty.
from YouTube going back into
Yeah,
StreamYard.
that's what was going on there. Yeah, good to connect with other people going through the same thing. It's bizarre, man.
Um, yeah. Did you have something you want to talk about?
Um, no, just figured I'd join. I mean, I've experienced all the things you're talking about. Um,
How long do you um have you been aware of being targeted?
I don't really like having my face on here.
Sorry, you broke up.
This is going to be posted online. I should have just kept it on the dog food.
Uh,
I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. You're still in here. I don't hear anything though.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Oh, you dropped again. Like you're having connection issues or something.
can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. One experiment that I've done in the past was I used a application called Cross Studio, and
Uh-huh.
I could take any audio recording, say a podcast and whatnot, and
Uh-huh.
you play it backwards. I know this sounds crazy, but I was getting direct communication with perps that way. I mean, they were communicating with me in a live time. It was the weirdest shit ever.
Well, I
And that was,
understand that that's weird. Um, I've actually presented some of my recordings of V2K, right? And
mm-hmm.
even though they're months old recordings, can interact with the perps on a recording in real time.
Yeah, I've experienced that too. I mean, the technology is just, like I said, it's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like, wow, how the hell? And a lot. Have you heard of Look Out for Charlie?
Yeah, I have.
What do you
I'm
think of
not a,
him? And you see
I'm not a
some of his
subscriber. I'm not a subscriber
work.
to the fungus. Sorry. I don't buy the fungus. Sorry. I mean, I haven't really looked at anything else he said, but when I
Oh
got to
yeah,
talking about fungus, I don't believe in that shit. Sorry.
yeah. I'm not sure how I feel
No
about the
offense
fungus, but
to
he does get some pretty good. Oh, that's
no
fine.
offense to him
I do
about
think that he gets.
the other stuff he talks about, but I'm not buying the fungus bullshit. Sorry. Just saying. Just
Sure.
saying.
Well,
Uh,
the one thing
I
he does get,
I
and
can't I
solid
can't
evidence, is
equate
the external
I can't
audio.
equate the technology to that. I can't equate the technology to a fungus and the people following you and it making people do things. I can't equate that. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
No, I understand.
As it is, the way it's presented with the fungus is that it acts like an antenna. Well, your body's already an effective antenna with your blood. I mean, iron, magnesium, zinc, all the all the heavy metals are there to turn your body into a fantastic antenna. All the stuff in your bloodstream is already there. I mean, the iron for one is is a very effective antenna.
I agree with that. And other than the fungus, he does get some amazing evidence of some external audio though, that in a frequency range which a human voice should not be.
Right, right. No, I'm just,
Uh,
that's all I'm saying. I'm the other stuff I'm in agreement with, but I don't agree with the fungus. It's just the fungus
I
doesn't.
guess,
That cuts
yeah,
it
no,
off
I
for me
hear
right
you.
there.
The other question I've got is, I mean, what you said we're the only ones that can save ourselves from this. I mean, it's virtually impossible to, you know, I just don't see a way out of this. It seems like a bleak future, and I guess
Yeah.
we're all lab rats on some level. We can agree to that with the past couple of years, but yeah, it's just that's one way that brings comfort to me, is at least seeing that it's a psychological operation going on a mass scale. I mean, I don't know if we were just a beta test for this or what, but
as far as where it started, I mean, you can look back, and you can look back at the science for, let's say, MK Ultra, DARPA, Montauk, all those experiments. Taos Hum is definitely a precursor. So is HARP. But I totally agree with John's comment right here about glass amplifies frequencies. It is a excellent vibration amplifier. It amplifies the vibrations tenfold and frequencies. I totally agree with you there, John. That is an absolute fact right there. Now, what you're saying about Chip Chan, I will look that up, and I will review that and see what about that is. Not right now, but I will do that.
Props to John. That's how I came across your channel. I saw one of his videos talking about a certain tablet that he used. So I was watching one of your videos and then saw you were live streaming.
I use a regular RCA Endeavor 10 tablet. I think it has just, it has a condenser mic, and it picks up the V2K broadcast.
Yeah.
The microphone in this this Logitech webcam does to a point. Like in some of my videos, you can hear the V2Kers blabbing, chattering in the background, but it does not pick it up to the extent of the microphone on this cheap RCA tablet right here. $99 RCA tablet.
Right on.
I got at Target. Yeah. And
one of my questions is do you speculate that these are humans on the other end of the V2K, or is some of it artificial intelligence?
I am a firm believer that it is humans, but they are using predictive programming with the remote neural monitoring, so that they can alter what you're saying in real time. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you experience V2K? Are you experiencing V2K? You're not talking right now. I can't hear you.
Do I experience V2K? I'm sorry, you kind of started chopping in and out.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you experiencing V2K?
No, I don't experience V2K.
Okay.
I think I get more of the silent subliminals, and then the only way that I would.
Well, I was just wondering, because then I could converse with you about the role reversals. Then I'd be able to converse with you about the role reversals and the impersonation aspect, because I'm interested to talk to more people that have experienced it, so that I can collaborate with them over the tactics that they try to use to present themselves as you or you as them, or even when you don't say anything at all, they still have an actor presenting themselves as you.
Yeah, I experienced that exact same thing when I was doing my own audio experiments that I was telling you about earlier. They were impersonating family members. So I
Yes,
started thinking that family was involved.
even dead ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And that's as sick a fucking thing as I can imagine. I mean, you know, impersonating your dead sister or your dead mother. That's just that's just, pardon for lack of a better word, fucking disgusting behavior. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing more vile, in my opinion, than that.
Yeah, you know, and I think it's kind of pick your own adventure where they want people to think that it's, you know, pick the ghost adventure, or are you going to find out what some of this actually is and go with the technological aspect, you know, because a
Well,
lot of
see,
people will gear towards the ghost thing.
yeah, well, I'm down on the technology.
I understand. I'm just saying that that's
Actually,
probably a motivation or a psychological reason that they'll do that.
you see that you bring up a positive point here about the ghost aspect. You know, you have these paranormal investigators, right? Right? That use
Right.
the EVP, which
Mm-hmm.
the EVPs are reminiscent to the stuff that I've recorded, right, of the gang stalkers. So it leads me to believe that maybe the gang stalkers, right, were screwing with the paranormal investigators.
I totally agree with that. And I think I honestly was very interested in that at one point in time. And then I started having experiences like other
Here you
people
go.
are talking about.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I started doing the audio experiments and realized, you know, there's no spirits or ghosts. This is some fucked up
No.
technology shit,
Yeah,
you know?
you know, when these sick bastards are, you know, talking to me in my sister's voice, who's been, you know,
Right.
been dead for, you know, several years now,
Yeah.
or saying, "Oh, this is your mother speaking," who's also been dead for a number of years. That's, you know, that the emotional the emotional implications of that are to, you know, be really fucking angry, you know, to be really angry, and, you know, you understand, like the aspects of stress, and to choke the shit out of some asshole who desperately deserves it, right? That
Absolutely.
that's their motivation, is to incur an emotional response from you and an irrational behavior. That's part of their main goal, is like, they want to make you look crazy, right? Well, if they incur emotional responses where you act emotionally and irrationally with, you know, because when you're angry, you're not as rational as when you're not. You know, you never are, no matter what. You won't be. And that's part of the psychological warfare aspect of it, is how they want to, you know. Oh yes, definitely, John. I've checked out SHP's channel, and um, she definitely has a lot of pertinent information to impart if you're a TI. Yes, definitely. Um, she has a good channel, and it's well put together and presented in a technical format. I like her channel, yeah. But back to what you were saying, before I interrupted you with John's comment.
Oh, that's fine. You were talking about how they use your sister and mother's voice and to how
Uh-huh.
it's to provoke an emotional response. Yeah, I think that's the main goal, is to make everybody go Myron May, or create some kind of response in you to get you in the privatized
Aggravated.
prison industry. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
and then it'll
Also,
get
I see when I talk about having tangible proof, right? When I talk about like having tangible proof, not I go back to the headlights and the helicopters. When I mean tangible proof, I mean such as the hacking that they've performed on my Facebook. I created a memorial page for my dead brother, right, on Facebook. I inputted zero information, right? I just put his name there and I was going to memorialize it. Well, I didn't have the documentation required to actually memorialize it with Facebook. So I left it as is and didn't put in any information. I went back and looked at it one day because I was going to, like maybe add some pictures of him, right? And as I opened the page, there they had inputted my birth date, right? Added several of my friends that are on my Facebook page, right? Added people from my Facebook page, and we're playing a video game using the Facebook page called Mercenaries at War, and they even linked a phone number. And I have the phone number, and I messaged them, and I chewed them out, and I've reported that phone number. So that's the kind of evidence I'm talking about. That is tangible evidence of hacking, misappropriation of a computer, right?
hmm
And impersonation. Those
right.
those those are three things that, in any court of law would, you would think would easily be, oh, okay, sure, I'll take the case, right?
hmm
But as it is part of gang stalking, you get nothing. Like I said, you can be all animated, all blah blah blah, and the person you're talking to that has to do with, your information that you're reporting on, there'll be smiles, or they'll actually be listening intently, but the second you mention anything about targeting or gang stalking, their demeanor changes
That's the two things I want to add to that. That's one
instantly.
term that I don't like, is gang stalking. I think that in and of itself is a bad term. I think it's organized harassment, community policing. Uh, it almost diverts away from the seriousness of the issue.
Actually, domestic terrorism is more accurate.
Yeah, yeah, and then it's agencies are most likely involved that are supposed to be, it's just so Orwellian with the wordplay and whatnot. But yeah, that's
It's
basically what it
it's
is. It's
def
domestic terrorism.
it's definitely a precursor to an Orwellian society that they're trying to facilitate. You know,
hmm
it's definitely like you remember Christian Bale, the movie Equilibrium, right?
I do not. I do not. I don't
Oh,
know if I've
oh,
ever seen that
okay.
one,
Well,
but
it's a really good movie. If you're interested in the Big Brother type aspect role,
okay.
he plays his character is what they call a cleric, or like a lawgiver. And if you remember Fahrenheit 451, uh,
Uh huh.
you remember that movie, how the book burning and all that stuff. It's kind of reminiscent of that
Right.
movie, but it's an
Okay.
updated technical version. You might like the movie. It's a really good movie. I mean, Christian Bale is a great actor in any movie, but this is a really good movie. It's called Equilibrium. But that's along the Orwellian society type or Brave New World type movie. But there is another movie that is called Metropia. Now it's a CGI created movie. It's kind of cartoony, but if you watch it, you will see remote neural monitoring, V2K.
That is an
mind
awesome movie. I've
control.
seen
Yes. Did you
Is
see
that
that?
with the shampoo? That's with
Yes.
the shampoo?
The shampoo
Yeah.
is nanobot. Yes.
Yep.
That movie is the shit. That was written by a fucking gang stalker. I'm absolutely certain.
Another
Absolutely
great one.
certain.
No doubt. And you know, before when I saw that movie when it first came out, and I had no idea of any of this stuff. Okay. 10 years later on in my life, because I think that movie came out in like 2008, 2009, something like that. Then I go back and watch it, and it's like, wow, it puts it in a whole new perspective, you know?
I like this comment right here. That's a good comment, TL. Short and to the point. Ghosts and all. But yeah, that is a really good movie, you know. And
another great movie is Control Factor. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. Is it on YouTube? Can I look it up on YouTube?
It's not. It's really difficult to find. I had to download a torrent of it, but it came out in 2003. Now, if you just look into it on YouTube, look into that along with the yeah, you'll find it.
Factor. I'll look it up.
Control Factor, and it's got a lot. It's all about voice to skull and all of this type of stuff, but it's very good movie.
See, the thing about Metropia was it emphasizes on the impersonation factor too, with the his handler basically. And him connected.
Yep.
But yeah, that
was a trippy animation. I like that.
I'll look up that Control Factor. That definitely sounds good. The new Newsbenders. John says to look up the Newsbenders. What is that movie about, John? Is that reminiscent of what we're speaking of right here with like the manipulation and crowd control, whatever, gang stalking type stuff?
Now, another thing I want to say is I've experienced similar hacking type shit that you're talking about. I've experienced the same thing, and then
sweetheart. Yeah. Like what?
Well, for example, I'd be talking to somebody on a site, and then they'd start commenting about what was going on in the house that I'm in
with you. Yes, personal things about you, huh? That are unrelated to anything that you're talking about in the chat, but it's fucking pertinent for you, right?
Exactly. And then another thing I will say that I've gotten, which you can't prove, I could show all these pictures.
That's my point right there. But go ahead.
I was going to say, I've also experienced the one headlights, the color sensitization, the, things like that. And I can show you the timestamps where it's mathematically improbable for that many to be, within a block radius, but what is that going to do?
But you do understand my point as far as a tangible evidence. That's circumstantial all the way. There's no, there's no way you can stick that in a judge's hands and he's going to go, oh, sure. They're not
exactly.
You know that they're not going to give a shit about the helicopters and the headlights and the people carrying target bags and they all got red shirts. They're not going to recognize it. I mean, they have a hard enough time recognizing gang stalking at all in the first place.
Well, then you have to wonder what their role is in it. I mean, a lot of them may be involved and know about it.
Too. That's something else,
too. It could be some kind of extrajudicial underground bullshit that we're not part of that club, like George Carlin says. You know,
Yeah, we're not part of the large group of stupid people that you need to be aware of. Yeah,
it's a big club, and we're not in it.
and you're not in it. Yeah. Um, but speaking of how you're talking about maybe the judge or the doctor or the lawyer, you know what I mean, might be privy to the information, but they're not going to admit that, right?
Yeah. Then you have
But
to question how much is compartmentalized. What are they
it
told? You
it
know.
yeah, it converts and equates to the Havana syndrome, right? How, as I've researched it, there's over 200 CIA operatives here and abroad, right, that have been afflicted with it and have reported it, right? But they have the FBI investigating it. And the weird part is that zero afflicted personnel are FBI agents.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, isn't it? That, that the Central Intelligence Agency needs a lesser group of investigators, which the FBI are below, right? The CIA, I mean, nobody's above the CIA, but they have
Right.
the FBI investigating it, even though none of the FBI are afflicted with it, or at least haven't reported it. And it's a mysterious illness. I
Well,
don't
and then
buy
another.
that either, that they think that it's mysterious to them. They know exactly what's going on. I just don't
Absolutely.
buy it.
Another individual who was actually, I think he was the head of the FBI at one point, Ted Gunderson. Have you
That's
ever heard
highly
of him?
possible, John. Sorry. Yeah, Ted Gunderson, what?
He was part of the FBI.
Uh-huh.
I think he was even the head of it at one point, and he was exposing, trafficking and things like that. Anyways, towards the end of his life, he complained about being gang stalked, and
Uh-huh.
2 months later, or something like that, he was dead. So, I'm
Yeah.
sure the FBI is involved in it, as well as the CIA, all the alphabet agencies. They've got their hand in it.
Well, you have to understand I've mentioned before about the Edward Snowden interview, about how he talks about when he was a subcontractor there, how he, you know, was watching them use remote neural monitoring, right? When he talks about it,
Mm-hmm.
he talks about
Yeah.
them, watching people think as they're typing on their computer, the thought process of them, oh, well, I want to retype this, and they retype it. And he says, we can do this. We are doing this, right? They're doing this. That, and so,
Now,
and
even
that's years ago.
that's a great Snowden clip. And even before that, I just came across a video from 2009, and they were talking about mind reading technologies in
Right.
this video, and this was a mainstream clip. And it's like, well, how far have we come in 10 years? Someone commented that they've got a scanner in the phones that can actually scan your brain, sort of like what Edward Snowden was talking about. So they can remotely scan. And in this old video and the news clip I'm talking about with the mind reading technology, they had to put someone through this machine and pinpoint the brain. And now it's completely wireless, remote, satellite, all of
Yeah.
that. It's way beyond what people can even
That,
comprehend,
that's
you
what
know.
I'm saying. I understand that they had a use for implants in recent years, but with the advent of the newer technologies, they're unneeded. You know.
And they still may be doing that to some extent. Let's say the snake bite, we'll call it.
Uh-huh.
That could have something to do with this on a mass scale.
You're talking about the jab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that could definitely have something to do with what we've experienced, going very big,
Mainstream.
you know,
Yeah.
mainstream. Yeah.
Well,
As that's,
go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that's my speculation anyways.
Well, as I've said before in previous videos and from some pertinent research that go along with what we're talking about here, and the mass manipulation, the ability with neuromonitoring, with remote neuromonitoring, to control the nervous system, the visual cortex, the auditory nerves, and even overwrite some of your thoughts. You know what I mean? To replace what you're thinking with other things is kind of like the avatar aspect. Whereas I have seen before them taking over somebody, if you understand what I mean. Like
I do.
like
It's just
like
fucking nuts, man.
like hypnot. Yeah, it's weird as fuck, but I've seen it happen, and
Well, I've seen it
it's
too. I've seen it
it's
too.
it's way beyond hypnotism. It's like they take over the person like it's a fucking video game avatar.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Here's one. I got a crazy story to tell you, man. And this is something I could never prove, okay? And this is when I was being,
Yeah.
you know, it kind of started going over on me. But let me just tell you this story in a nutshell. I took care of this kid who, for lack of a better word, was an individual with autism, okay? And he would get violent out of nowhere, right? I'd be driving down the interstate, taking him to work or wherever, and he would just start screaming and pull the try to pull the steering wheel and whatever. I'd have to pull over, tell him to calm down, and la di da da. Now he also would talk. He would sit in the back seat and he would talk to something that wasn't there. And I was finally convinced he's talking to something. I started getting these, even hearing it myself, these kind of like whisper sounds. So
That's
I asked him,
V2K.
who are you talking? Yeah, this is my one of the first experiences with V2K. So I asked him, take some deep breaths, calm down, tell me who you're talking to, okay? Now he did that, okay? And then he came up and he told me Belial. So I looked up, I Googled Belial, and so they're trying to spook me. It's some ancient Hebrew demon, okay? So I'm like, what in the fuck? You know, what is going on? So that kind of spooked me. And then he told me another time, Martians, you know, and I'm like, there's no such thing as Martians. Who are you talking to? And then he said one of the people at work, you know, someone like me who was working with the special people or whatever. So it was another worker there who wasn't a special needs person that was talking to this individual through V2K, and or who knows, they might have been mimicking that person's voice. But from the vibes that I got from the people there, they were involved in this type of thing, human experimentation with vulnerable needs people, you know.
Right. But what you're talking about with him, this was your son?
No, this was just an individual I worked with.
Okay,
I took care of him.
The things you were talking about while he was saying it was Martians, or then it was something else and that, right?
Yeah, some demon name, right?
That's what they do. That they've tried. They pulled. I'm firmly a believer that if you actually got a target to talk about it, just like I am and you are, that they have presented themselves to you as demons or God or aliens, right? They tried to recruit me in the early stages of the V2K and the RNM. They tried to recruit me saying they were men in black. And I was sitting out here on my patio on my wheelchair. and a little dragonfly drone, the size of a dragonfly. It looked like a dragonfly. It was a dragonfly drone. They were saying follow the dragonfly. And I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not climbing no fence. I'm not capable of climbing a fence. And they flew it back over, and he hovered in front of my face for a minute and then flew back over and said, if you want to meet us, you got to follow the dragonfly. I'm like, well, um, let's just say for, you know, for all intents and purposes, that you are the Men in Black. I wouldn't work with you for any reason under the sun. And the reason I say that is because should they be Men in Black, I'm firmly against secret organizations, black ops operative bullshit. I wouldn't work with those people because they're, in my opinion, criminals. I don't care what their agenda was at the time, because it wasn't a good agenda, right? I mean, if it has to be so secret that you can't let people know you exist, you can't be doing everything above board, right? So, but anyway, I was like, I even if they were really Men in Black, but they weren't. Of course, they're gang stalkers. They're going to lie to you, and they try to coerce people with breadcrumbs or gifts.
Oh, sure. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, dude, just out of curiosity, I would have followed the dragonfly.
Well, no, I wasn't about to do that.
No, I gotta say, I knock on wood. I don't know how I would handle hearing voices directly. Like I said, to me, it's silent subliminals, and I'll pick them up if I do audio experiments. But I don't get them directly like what you're talking about.
Right. But yeah, well, I mean, they're talking right now. I hear them talking. I hear them talking their shit right now.
Now, another thing they've done to me though is they would do things like come through an ambient noise or come through like a shower sound. Like I'm taking a shower, and look up for Charlie had a video on that type of weapon.
But it's not it's not loud and ignoring, right?
No.
But like you're not hearing in the background of this microphone.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, because they've modulated it down. So I can barely hear it, so it's not going to be picked up because they're not really. The last few weeks or so, they've modulated it down so that it's not as pervasive as normal until I go to bed. Then they like to get loud and scream and harass me and try to say, come on, come outside. We want you to, because they don't want you to sleep. They don't want me to sleep, or they do want me to sleep. It just depends on their attitude of the day. Whether they want me to come outside as if they want to fight. Of course, there's never going to be anybody there to get their ass kicked, but they sure act like it. But there never is. Anyway, but when they really for the longest time, every time I went to go lay down, every single time I went to go lay down, they would start screaming and getting real belligerent and all that kind of stuff.
I have to wonder
that's just it. John just corroborated my story right there. They do that, don't they, John? Right? Like right now, they're not harassing you like crazy, but the second you go lay down and go try to sleep, they turn that shit up and they're bitching and crying like a bunch of babies, aren't they?
And what, they just start insulting you, or what happens?
Oh, you would not believe it. I'm glad you don't. Just let me say this. Even though you're targeted, I am happy for you that you aren't experiencing V2K and RNM 24/7. I'm happy for you.
I
I'm not.
think that
I'm
no,
not happy
I'm
for
glad I'm not
you.
experiencing it now.
Yeah, I'm not happy for you that you're a target. You know, the tablet that I told you to get, huh? Son of a bitch, right? So you could record it. I'm sorry, man. See, that's uh, I didn't have an idea that it would cause that, but you have recorded stuff. I know you said you recorded some stuff.
You're talking to me now?
No, I'm talking to John right now.
Okay.
I think he's the same John that got the tablet under my direction or my uh, my recommendation. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is right, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry that that's become that way for you because of that tablet. But you feel comfort because that means that they're afraid. They're afraid of those recordings. You understand, right? They're afraid of those recordings that you have now because you have something tangible and not just your word, right? Um, I just why don't you why don't you jump on here and let us hear some of them? I would like to hear one. Would you do that? Would you be willing to do that? Would you be willing to do that? To jump on here and just play one of them or part of one? I would be interested to in hearing what your perps sound like.
Do
I
they
mean,
sound robotic or?
they can sound robotic. They can sound demonic. They can sound like uh, pretty much whatever they can modulate themselves to sound like.
Do you think that some of these, paranormal videos such as shadow people and this and that is also technology as well?
Did you say what people? The shadow people?
Yeah, some of these paranormal videos they've got.
Uh,
You look out for Charlie mentions that there's technology where it's like hologram technology
yeah,
that they may be
I
using
believe
for certain
holograms.
people.
Yeah, I believe it's a hologram based. That's logical,
Right.
because I mean, if you've looked into hologram technology, I mean, the some of the videos of the hologram 7D technology is, just it looks real, like like the whales coming out of the floor and that shit. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I know this is unrelated, but if you think about 9/11 and the suspect video with the hologram going over the what over the missile that was supposed to be a plane going into the towers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
which they would have been able to do along with the missile that would have impacted the Pentagon, made it look like a plane. Now, obviously, a plane isn't going to be able to fly 10 feet above the ground, let alone a jet flight, a jet airliner, right? At 200 miles per hour. It's physically not possible. It'll fly apart, right? the air friction will tear the plane apart. Now, and obviously also the plane will not be able to fly 10 feet above the ground through light poles. And there are no light poles disoriented, knocked down in the flight path, right? Also, where the impact is, there isn't airplane debris everywhere, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah, I
just saying,
think we can all agree it's
hologram technology does exist.
yeah, they've had this for a long time. I mean, and back then too. You really can't believe anything you see. Everything could be green screened, and
Uh-huh.
and then with voice cloning and all of this stuff we're talking about, it.
Let me ask John a question. Hey, John, have you seen the video where I explain how I have basically kept my computer safe from them using the RNM and my passwords? How I've gotten around that by using a random password generator and covering up the password with my hand and copying and pasting it into whatever, desired place I want to add it, and let Google remember the password and just stay logged in. And if they ever get in there again, you can follow those steps again. I haven't been having any problems since then, as far as being, having my computer malfunction or be hacked or whatever. Now, whether they're doing that as to give me a false sense of security to lull me into thinking that they can't get on it or not, I don't know. But as it is, though, but it has kept them out of my Facebook that I know of. I think, and out of my Google accounts and whatnot. I think it has anyway. I mean, even if they can access it, they haven't done the malicious stuff that they did before. You know what I mean? Maybe they're still looking at it, but just not doing anything with it, so that I think that they're gone. You know what I mean? But in any event, that is a good thing, because they're not trying to destroy files and add stuff to my computer, right? But implementing that system that I thought of myself to do without actually looking at it, because it didn't matter how many times I changed my password, they were fucking shit up every time. Every single time I changed my password, they were just fucking everything up. And since I did that, I haven't really had those issues. So it seems to be working for me. But how are you in that respect, Glitch?
Well, I mean, I think that excuse me. I think that Google, I find a hard time believing they're not part of this, because it seems like it's on such a mass scale. I really haven't done a whole lot. I don't use Facebook or any of that. I don't get on any social media anymore due to my experiences. So I wouldn't know. I just go under the assumption that if they're reading, it just, nothing is private. I don't, I think that they're giving you a false sense of security, but they're not messing with you like that.
You do know that there's a shitload of people here on YouTube that are perping, right? And I mean a shitload.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh really? I
they're,
wonder if I brought more.
huh?
I wonder if I've brought more to the chat.
What do you mean?
I mean, just my presence. I'm sure
Oh,
all my perps, whoever they are.
dude,
Yeah.
don't worry about anything you bring in here. I've had them come in here and death threat me, threaten to burn my house down, come and kill me. Um, uh, the like as far as adding you to the chat, I've had people that I've added on here come on and just say some belligerent shit, and I boot them right away. But no, they've actually came in here and harassed random people that have showed up in my chat, threatening them that they're going to start targeting them now because they came to watch me. So
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if my if things got worse for me because I'm talking to you.
to me,
But no, I'm
sorry,
not.
dude.
I'm yeah. No, you're good, man. I'm just not on the. I'm not watching the live chat. I exited out of the
Wait,
YouTube video. I'm just using
what?
the stream.
Yeah. What are you saying, John? What guy are you talking about? Is that Done Alive got hacked to death, and then the channel did a hit video on me? What channel and what guy? Shield Destroyer. Well, I'll look that motherfucker up.
Oh, I used to watch some of his videos. I mean, that sounds familiar. He used to have some good videos, but there's, like you said, a lot of perps in the quote unquote truther community. You just don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you hit on the word. I had been lately frequenting uh the truth community, some of the truth community channels, right? And
Uh-huh.
yeah, the they've they've got some they've got some weird they've got a weird animal of stalking in itself going on there right now. Um, that okay, it can be termed as gang stalking in a sense, but it's a different kind of gang stalking. It's not what we're experiencing with the B2K and the RNM and that, you know. But there is a lot of doxing and going real life with it. Now, maybe it's a precursor to the gang stalking. I don't know, but there's a lot of it going on over there, and I'm just not. I haven't been really watching them because it's just getting to be a big harassment game. It's like you talk shit about me, they talk shit about you, Bob. You know what I mean? Back and forth, and you know what I mean?
Right,
And,
right.
and we don't need that over here, right? Like how with being a target, you're already being harassed. You don't need to be harassed by other targets.
Yeah,
I
yeah, absolutely. I definitely get what you're saying now. Yeah, that's no doubt. Another person I wanted to mention this before I forget. Up is Down podcast. Dean Reiner. He has some excellent podcasts. I think it starts with episode 36 and 37. He did a 4 or 5 part series about Tracy Twyman, who started being targeted heavily, and she talked about her internet being manipulated in live time, and
uh-huh.
it's just a fascinating, some of the best compilation of evidence that you'll come across. It's especially if someone hasn't heard of it. The podcast is called Up is Down, Dean Reiner, and I think it starts with episode 36.
Can you type it in the chat, because I'm not getting the name. Is it
Yeah,
Dean
let me
or?
see if it. Yeah.
But what John's saying here, he said, oh, things only me and the V2K ops would know. And then he says something about same time my belongings got stolen from storage. That sucks. When they say that they won't ever do, gang stalkers won't ever do anything, you know, physical to you, that proves it right there. Your stuff got stolen. I mean, I've had the same thing go on where they fucked with my driver's license. They stole the registration out of my car. You know, they're not above doing actual physical criminal acts. They've assaulted me, you know. So don't ever let anybody tell you that they won't actually do anything physical to you, because they will. They will, and they have. You know it because they've done it to you right there. I know it because they've done it to me. So they don't want to do those things because it can, you know, be, you know, that's a tangible thing, and they're trying to be like ghosts, like what TL said, ghosts, and laugh out loud. But they don't want a tangible trail. They don't want that. But this is like the longest live I have ever done. But with people in here, it's better that way, because we're actually talking and learning from each other, which is something. And I do like to hear other, you know, hear about your experiences other than just my experiences. That's why I'd like to get John in here again. I know he's been in here one time, haven't you? You came on one time. I think that was you. No, that was Al. I think it was Alan. No, I don't remember. Damn it, it's been a long time ago. But had a panel one time where someone had been trolling me in the chat actually did come on and talk to us. He hasn't showed up in the chat in a while since then, but he used to come on like every day and troll me, but I don't know. Yeah, it was Alan. I think it was Alan. He's got gray hair. Yeah, he's a good guy, and he's going through it just like we are, you know. But incidentally, John, one of my perpetrators is named John. I haven't seen Missy in a while. She did post on my Facebook a couple weeks ago, but I haven't seen her since then, and I haven't seen her do any videos. But and I don't know what happened to Glitch here. He dropped off for a second. But no, I haven't seen Missy in a while, in a couple weeks anyway. And she usually comments that she either missed my live or she'll comment on the live. I've tried to get her to come in and chat with me before, but she was busy, I guess. Are you back? But, Alan's a pretty cool guy. I like Alan. I wish he'd come back and chat some more. But are you okay, Glitch? Not hearing you. I got nothing from you. I got the loading thing. I don't really know what else to say now because I don't know. But there's that's a good question though. I'll message her on Facebook and see if I get a reply. Because no, I haven't heard anything from her. No, I like listening to her talk because she reminds me of Catherine Tate when she talks. Donna Noble, and that's a compliment for me because I like Catherine Tate. She's funny. I try not to remove them. I want them to go ahead and expose themselves, you know. And when they'll hide them, like Chief Handler, he'll come in here and make some comments and shit and hide it. And I have all my notifications going directly to email, so I'll post them. So even if he hides them, I'll post this shit. But are you back, Glitch? Have issues? Hello? You're having issues right now.
Yeah.
There you are. I hear your voice. Are you there? Nope. You're gone again. Yeah, well, I caught Chief in a blatant lie, and he hasn't said much of anything to me since that day. I flat out caught him in a lie, and he hasn't said shit to me since then. But I was watching TI News's live, and Chief Handler showed up in there and doing his usual crap. It was pretty funny, actually. I think though I've been on here 3 hours almost, which is plenty long. You since you're having issues, Glitch, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna go ahead and in the chat because I don't really have much else to say, and you're having trouble, and maybe we can. Yeah, that was funny watching them questioning CH. Yeah. I'm gonna end the stream here. So you you know, you don't even need to worry about it, Glitch, because I'm pretty well done. You're not been able to get on here, so.
All right, I can't really hear you. You're really choppy, so I think you're saying you're going to end the stream.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, well, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Yeah, come back and we'll chat some more again next time. That'd be great. Be glad to have you back on here to talk some more.
Sounds good. Take care, Scott.
Okay, thank you. See you all later. Have a good
All
night.
right, will do.